This is going to be a brief video of how to use the Cvat Bol Manager. So first thing you need to do is download our mobile app. If you're an Android user, go to the Play Store. If you're an iOS user with an iPhone, go to the App Store. So this is our tablet, company tablet, so I'm going to go to the Play Store here. To find our application, just type in the word or the letters CVAT. Should be the first result, which is a CVAT BOL Manager. Make sure you get the CVAT BOL Manager, not CVAT-S. The second one there, that's for testing only. So make sure you get CVAT BOL Manager. Then you're going to click where it says open. For me, it's going to say install for you. So click install there. Once it downloads and you open it up, let me log out so you can see the login process. So here's the page it's going to take you to. To get into the system, you need to log in using your first and last name or your username. If you don't know for sure what you're in the system as, you can always ask somebody here in the office and we can get you your login. So either put in a first and last name here, first, last, or you can do your username. So I'm going to type in my username here and log in. So it's going to text me a PIN. So it just got a text. My PIN is 386501. So this is my PIN. You have to log in once a week. So you'll never have to remember a password, and your PIN will always change. So one time per week, you'll have to put in your username. It's going to text you a 6-digit PIN. You'll type it in here and log in. So you'll never have to remember that number. It's going to be a new number every week. Right when you log into the mobile, you're going to see a screen that looks like this. This is the first tab of the 6 tabs across the top called the driver profile. Within your driver profile, you're going to see all the BOLs you have assigned. So it says Jonathan Ertle's current BOLs. It says assigned, there's 2 BOLs, accepted, there's 1, arrived pickup, there's 3. That's everything I have currently assigned to me right now. Now, if I wanted to look at one of these in particular, I can click on it from this tab here. So let's say I click on the assigned BOLs here. It's going to shoot me over to the assigned tab right here across the top. That's how you get to them. So I'm going to go back to the driver profile. So from here, color coding is what you're looking for. So right now everything's green. It says no action required. If something was red, there's something that you need to do. So instead of it being green and saying no action required, let's say you don't accept the load for a couple hours, it's going to say, hey, you haven't accepted the load for 2 hours. It's going to turn red to remind you, hey, you need to do something here. So if you ever see something red, click on it and it'll take you to the BOL you need to update. Now within this driver profile, you can scroll down. It's got your user information and the BOL's delivered section. That's a settlement. So I've put in one fake load in here to give you an idea. I marked it delivered so you'd see what it looks like here. So this one, it gives you the BOL ID, the driver date, or the delivery date, sorry, pickup location, delivery location, the number of vehicles, and the pay. This one I entered as $1, but that's going to show your gross total for the entire load. So let's say your gross total for the load's $500. Right there in the pay, it's going to say $500. That's really all you need to know about here. There is the paper process BOL section. If you, for whatever reason, have an issue with your mobile and you're trying to update and it won't let you, it's going to ask, would you like to switch to a paper process? Anytime that happens, for whatever reason, if you can't get the mobile to work and you switch to a paper process, it's going to show the list of BOLs there that are in that paper process section. Now, all you have to do with that is we're expecting you to turn in the piece of paper because for whatever reason you weren't able to deliver that load on the mobile. So that's going to keep a list of everything that you need to deliver, that you need to turn in terms of paper BOLs. Most of the time you won't ever have any paper BOLs. Everything should go through. If for whatever reason it doesn't, it will ask, would you like to switch to a paper process BOL? If you say yes, it keeps track of which BOLs you need to turn in. So right now I have 0 there. So let's go to the next tab here across the top called Assigned. Now with the Assigned tab, everything that we assign to you is going to start there. So when we give you a load, it's going to look like this top one here. This is a load from Mannheim, Nevada to Capital Toyota. So this is a load that I copied the information from the system, so it's a Toyota Prius. This is a general move. All you have to do in the Assign tab is either accept or decline it. So if you're going to take the load, you accept it. If for whatever reason you can't take the load, you decline. Now you can always look at the vehicle details by clicking on this button here. It's going to show you more specific information like pickup and drop off addresses. If you want to look at details on the car, you can do that by clicking on the vehicle details, which is going to show you curb weight, length, height, things like that. It'll also show you any notes that we've written in the system. So if you see down here at the bottom, there's been 3 different notes. Different people have written different information on the car. Any of that information will be shown here. You'll also notice that the Show Notes button there is yellow. If you ever have a BOL that has cars that don't have notes, that button would be blue, and it'll say Add Notes, like this Toyota Camry on the bottom. That car currently has no notes. You can always click on the Add Notes button to add notes to that car. Otherwise, if it's already got notes from somebody here in the office, you could always look at the notes to see what information on that car. So this Toyota Prius looks like it had no key, and then Tammy updated it that key is in the car now. Now it's ready to go. So if you ever want to look at want more information on the car, you can look at the notes. So I'm going to go ahead and accept a couple of these BOLs. Step 1 is to accept the load. So I'm going to accept both of these loads. Now that everything is accepted, my mobile is going to jump over to the Accepted tab. See across the top there, now I'm in Accepted. Here's all the loads that I've currently accepted. Let's say I'm getting ready to pick up this first load here. This is a load at Mannheim, San Francisco Bay. So let's say I just arrived at pickup. I can say Start Pickup. It's going to check to see if you're in the correct location, which I'm in the office, so I'm not in the right location, so I'm going to have to override. That's going to send an alert to the office saying somebody said they were at a certain place, but they aren't actually there. So I'm going to override and say testing. So I've arrived at pickup for that BOL. So now it's in the pickup section. I'm going to go back to accepted for a second, because one of the things you can do from this tab here, you can either decline a BOL, you can look at BOL details, vehicle details, start the pickup, or you can click on this pickup icon up here, and it's going to actually open the map and give you directions on how to get there. So I'm going to go ahead and back out of that, but that'll automatically fill in your current location and the location of where you're going to, and it'll find the route, and it'll give you an amount of time based on traffic, how long it should take to get there. So I'm going to back out of that and go back to the pickup. So this, if there was any procedures for the load that you're going to pick up, if we wrote in that there was a certain instructions, it would show up here. So pickup procedures, there aren't any for this load. Collect on pickup, nothing. So this is telling us that there's nothing special about this load. If there was something special, it would be listed here. So I'm going to say OK. Now, in order to go in transit, if you notice the background color of all of these cars right now is yellow. In order to be able to go in transit, there's 2 things that have to happen. If it's a store-to-store move from CarMax, you have to link the shipment ID. So right here, if you look at BOL 57947, it says it's unlinked. The top right-hand corner of a CarMax BOL is going to have a 4-digit store number and a 5-digit code. You're going to go up to the top here and type in the 4-digit store number and the 5-digit code and click enter. And that's going to verify that you have the BOL and all the vehicles on that BOL are correct. So let's say you have 3 vehicles assigned, but they're only able to give you 2 of them. By linking it, it's going to automatically know what your correct load is and kick off the cars that you're not actually taking. So first step, you'll link. But if it's an auction load or a general freight customer, anything other than a CarMax store-to-store BOL, all you have to do is scan. So I'll show you how to use the scanner now. So I'm going to generate a barcode and then show you guys how to use the scanner. So I'm going to click the Scan All button here. It's going to open up the scanner. So I've opened up the scanner now. I've got a barcode generated. I'm just going to want to put that red line right on the barcode. Sometimes it's picky. There it is. So it just scanned one VIN. Now I've got to get the other VIN. I've got to generate another VIN here. So the next one I'm actually going to do a QR code. Some of the new vehicles have a QR code. And this is how fast it'll scan QR codes. Just like that. So now that I've scanned both the vehicles, they've both turned green. And now that I've scanned, I can go in transit. So I'm going to go ahead and go in transit. So I'm leaving the Manheim San Francisco Bay now, heading to Toyota of Selma. So I'm going to go in transit. And all it's going to ask for is when are you going to deliver? So I'm going to select the date. I'm going to say I'm going to deliver tomorrow. And it's going to be at 9 a.m. So once you've selected the date and time, you can go in transit. Also, you'll notice above that it's giving you the current amount of time that it should take to travel to the delivery location. So I'm delivering to Selma, and it says that that is 2 hours and 53 minutes away. So it gives you a general idea of how long it would take to get there. But you can select whatever time you want. And then I'm going to go update ETA and go in transit. So I'm in transit now. So if you notice at the top, we're now in the in transit tab. And now you can mark the drop-off location. If you click the drop-off icon there, it'll give you directions to the drop-off location. If you just want the address, you can go into BOL details, see the address there. If you want to add notes, you can still do that. But the only thing you're going to do while you're in transit is say, I'm here to deliver. So you click Arrive Delivery. It's going to check to make sure you're in the right place. So this is something we never want you to do. We never want you to override a delivery location. Because what that's telling me is you're saying you're there to deliver. And when you deliver, you were going to collect a signature. So if you say I'm in Selma, and if you're really 50 miles away, there's no way that you could have collected a signature. So anytime you override a delivery location like this, it's going to update me, and you have to tell me why you're doing it. So you're going to say, I forgot, forgot to mark it delivered. Anytime you can't get it delivered and signed for on the mobile, always turn in your signed BOL. Because if you just forge the signature on here, if you just say, oh, I'm going to sign for that person, it's going to update us and say, well, there's no way you could have actually got that signed by the person because you were 50 miles away. So it's actually going to update us and tell us that information. So never override a delivery. If you, for whatever reason, forget to update it, or your mobile's not working, for whatever reason, if you can't collect a signature from the customer, always just turn in the signed piece of paper, and then we'll use that to mark it delivered. We will update it for you. So never override a delivery location. So now you're in Arrive Delivery. It's general information about, are you supposed to collect? Is there any drop-off procedures? The dwell time is how long you've been there. your pickup, your drop off. So this is what you're going to show to the customer. So they're going to have to type in their name here, their first and last, and then they're going to click Sign BOL. It's going to bring up the signature capture. From here, they're going to have to click to sign. So they click on anywhere on the tab, and they can sign their name. So there it is. And then you're going to confirm the delivery. It says, do you sure want to update? Say OK. Boom. You've just completed your first load. BOL delivery successful. So you've just completed your first load on the Cvat Bol Manager. Now, to track the BOL that you just finished, you can go into your driver profile. And if you look, you should be able to see there's going to be a new line in your BOLs delivered. So that table that had that first load on it that I put in for $1, now you've got a load that says it was, the second BOL on the list is 57950, delivered on 12/7 from Manheim San Francisco Bay to Toyota Selma. It was 2 vehicles, and the total gross pay is $370. So the very bottom there, it gives you the totals. It says I've delivered 2 BOLs for a gross total of $371, and it's a total of 3 autos. So this is going to keep track of everything you deliver. We're going to have the same access to this list. So whatever you mark delivered, that's what we're going to see, and we're going to pay you based off of this table. If you ever see anything weird with this table, this is basically your recap. So if anything is not correct, let us know, because we're going to pay you exactly based on what's in this table. So everything you mark delivered in the mobile is going to come into here. That's how we're going to know exactly what to pay you, and you're going to know exactly what you're going to be paid. The one thing you might see in here is something called rate pending. Rate pending is basically only going to show up if you moved a car to a relay. So let's say a car pays $100 and you take it only half of the way. So we would split up the money between both drivers. So if it's, if you deliver the first leg, you would get $50 and the second driver would get $50. So anytime you split that, we have to manually go in and divide the money between the 2 drivers. So until we manually divide the rate, it's just going to say it's pending, because obviously we're not going to give you the entire rate if it needs to be divided between 2 drivers. So anytime you see a rate pending, that means you've hauled a partial load and somebody needs to manually go in there and divide the money between the 2 guys. So other than that, it's always going to tell you your current totals, and then it's going to tell you your current totals, and it'll say, if you do have any splits, it's going to say your gross total is $371, plus you have some pending rates that are going to go through. So you can kind of get a general idea of what it's going to be, even though you don't know exactly what it is until we divide the money. So that's kind of how that BOLs delivered works. And that's it for the tutorial. We've gone through all the way from assigned to accepted to pickup and transit and delivery. I mean, that's all the way through the mobile. If you have any questions, my email is actually right here on the screen. My phone number is right here on the screen. You can pause the video and write that down. Text me if you have any questions about how anything works, if something doesn't work correctly for you, if you have any suggestions, if you need your username or your first and last name from the system, if you don't know exactly what it might be, we can give you that information. Really, any questions that involve the app, contact me directly. Here's my email, here's my mobile number. Or you can also use this compose message to dispatch. That's also going to send a message to us to, if you need to write us directly, you can also use that. And that's it for the video.